What's going on, guys? So I'm still out here driving. I figured I'd make another little video. Driving the Challenger, loving every second of it. Kind of a long, windy road that I'm on right now, and it's heavily wooded, so of course you got to watch for the animals, watch for deer jumping out and stuff. But I am enjoying the ride, hugging those turns. I mean, I love this car. Wonderful suspension. When you put it in sport mode, which I don't have it in right now. Right now it's 64 degrees outside. It's actually predominantly rear-wheel drive. So what happens in this car, this is an all-wheel drive system. So if the temperature is not below 45, if it's above 45 and your wipers aren't on, and it presumes it's not raining or anything, it'll be in rear-wheel drive, okay? That helps with gas mileage. But anytime, like if I hit a puddle and the tire gets loose, you know, and there's any kind of loss of traction, it will automatically go back to all-wheel drive. If it's below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, it will automatically go in all-wheel drive. And if your wiper's on, it thinks it's raining, which is why your wipers will be on, and it automatically goes into all-wheel drive. Okay, this is all to help with traction and grip and safety, right? So you have more control in the car. But this video is on the Challenger, the V6. I mean, this goes for pretty much the Chargers as well. There's a lot of V6 Chargers out there too. Is a V6 Challenger or Charger a muscle car? That's the question. I'm going to say no. Now, of course, some people may challenge this, but traditionally, and maybe your opinion differs, but I think by definition, a muscle car is an American car with a V8 engine, you know? So when you're talking about the Hemis, the 5.7, the 6.3, those are muscle cars, you know, whether it's in a Charger or a Challenger, it doesn't really matter. The Chargers and Challengers are extremely similar in a lot of different ways. It's basically the four-door, old Mustang. I don't know if you can catch that on camera. It's like a 67 or something. Anyway, I lost train of thought now. Damn Ford. Got me all twisted. Yes, the Challengers and the Chargers, they're pretty much the same. You have the four-door option and you have the two-door option. I want the two-door because I don't have kids right now. I don't need four doors. And plus, I just like the looks of this more. Nothing against Chargers. I think Chargers are cool, but Chargers don't stand out like Challengers do, you know. But, you know, if you need a daily, you need four doors. I mean, it's cool. It has all the same options, you know. It's very, very similar with all the different packages and trim levels and stuff. But anyway, getting back to it, this has a 3.6-liter V6 in it, 305 horsepower. And although that is more power than some of the base model, you know, 70s actual Challengers from back in the day, which if you saw, you'd say that's a muscle car, regardless of what motor's in it, right? That's a muscle car. But even though this makes more power than some of those options originally, I do not consider this a muscle car. For me, this is a very cool looking daily driver. That's it. I didn't get this for the power, although I have to say I really enjoyed the extra power because it does have some punch. You know, and most times when I'm using it, it's like if I'm passing a tractor trailer on the highway or something, I don't want to dilly-dally and stay in the blind spot. Like, I go. And doing 65, 70, I'm at 100 miles an hour by the time I get to that cab. I mean, that's no joke. So I can get past it quick, and that was the whole point of it. Sorry about that. We had a little hiccup with the camera there. I don't know why it shut off for a second. But anyway, yeah, the V6 Challengers and V6 Chargers, to me, they're not muscle cars. I want to kind of get back to the original reason why I got this car for people who haven't maybe seen the other videos and stuff. Where I live in northeastern Pennsylvania, we get winters and we get snow. So when I was looking for a new vehicle, I wanted to get something that was at least all-wheel drive, preferably four-wheel drive. But, you know, trucks are very expensive, and a lot of the SUVs with four-wheel drive capability, very expensive. When I learned that these, not only the Challengers, but the Chargers as well, I think it was 2018 or 2019 on, were available in all-wheel drive, it was very interesting to me, right? I don't like the looks of SUVs, generally speaking. Like, originally, I kind of wanted a 4Runner. I really love the 4Runner, but it's too expensive for me. It's a little out of the budget. So I just couldn't swing one, and I didn't want to get one with high mileage, you know, that was cheaper, so I could afford it. So long story short, I ended up with this, and I'm in love with it. I love everything about it, but to this day, I still say that I'm driving a cool-looking SUV, because essentially this is an SUV. It's extremely heavy, and it has all-wheel drive. It's built on a huge chassis as well. This car weighs, I want to say it's 4,200 pounds. You know, I don't know the exact number, but about 4,200. That's with the all-wheel drive. I think it's 3,900 pounds if you get like a rear-wheel drive Challenger. And my Chrysler 200 weighed 39.5 or something, I believe, which is extremely heavy, by the way, for what the car is. But it's not that much difference as far as the size of the car. But the engines, it's a massive difference. This 3.6 liter V6 compared to the little 4-cylinder, a 2.4 liter on the Chrysler 200. And I love my Chrysler, you know, and I thought it had a little pep until I started driving this. And this has a little pep, you know what I'm saying? But it's not a muscle car, and that's the whole point here. And like I was saying before, you know, most people have no idea. They just see this and they think like, wow, that's a really powerful muscle car. You know, 99 of 100 people are going to be like, wow, powerful muscle car. And there's always going to be that one guy that knows what he's talking about and is going to go, yeah, it's a cool looking car, but, you know, it's got a 6-cylinder engine. And, you know, nothing to scoff at, but it's no muscle car. And like I said, I can't disagree with that. I never said that this was a muscle car, and I didn't buy it thinking I was buying a muscle car. If I had a fun weekend car, I would definitely get a more powerful version of the Challenger because they are cool. They really are. Maybe the 392, like I said, the Shaker, obviously, you know, the Hellcat's very cool, but, you know, it's way more expensive. That's the other thing, too, is that people look at this car, and when people mention it and talk about it, I said, you know, how much do you think that costs? And they're like, I don't know, 50,000, 60,000? No, it's not. These cars, the very cheapest one you can get brand new starts at $28,000, and it goes all the way up to $90,000, depending on what engine is in it. Now, of course, there's slight differences in the brakes, obviously. The Hellcats, I think, come with Brembos, like huge Brembo brake system, which is obviously way more intense, but that's to handle all that extra power as well. But besides brakes and some suspension parts, they're basically the same cars. They look identical. Again, to most people who don't know the difference in trim levels and packages on these cars. So, I mean, I think it's cool that most people seeing me drive down the road think it's a really nice, really fast, really expensive car, and it's just a kind of expensive car that's kind of fast, but still really cool looking. So for me, like I said, it's the best of all the worlds, where it's not terrible on gas. It wasn't extremely expensive obviously I'm financing it, and it's not slow by any means, but I just have to drive that point home. It's not a muscle car, but I never thought it was. So some people are like, oh man, you got to get the V8. Get the V8. Yeah, well, you know, what do you drive, by the way, who's commenting on that? Some of you are driving very cool, very fast cars, but most people aren't. Should have got the V8. Where's your V8, you know? But people say it like it's offensive, and I don't care. I don't care. Obviously, I chose to have this one. It's funny because it kind of reminds me, when I was in high school, there was like 3 kids who went to my high school who drove brand new, all 3 of them. 2 of them were identical, same red color and everything. The third one I think was blue. No, it was green. But they all drove Mustangs, and all 3 of those Mustangs were V6 Mustangs. They weren't V8. They were base model, simple, the cheapest option, but they look cool. And I remember back in high school when everyone was doing drag racing and stuff, they got their butts handed to them in those Mustangs. They look cool going down the road, but looking in the rear view, because they weren't very fast cars compared to some of the other cars. There was a kid with a Civic who had it. I don't know what he did to it back then. I don't know if he probably turbocharged it. I didn't know as much stuff as about cars, you know, back then at all. Back when I was growing up, it wasn't about turbocharging your car and making boost and all that kind of stuff. No. People didn't give a crap about performance. It was about having shiny chrome rims, having a very cool stereo system with a huge bass box in the trunk. That's all it was. People did audio and they did rims. That was it. Now it's all about stance and, you know, all these different things. It's just the culture changed completely. And like I said, chrome was really in back then, and now everything's black, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna make this video longer than it has to be. Just wanted to just talk about it briefly, about the idea that these are muscle cars. They look like muscle cars, but it's really all about the performance, you know. It's just like with knives. You can have a really cool looking knife, sport an AUS 6, and most people are gonna say that's a really nice knife. But then the knife guys are like, AUS 6, okay, I see. It could be better, could be worse. So anyway, that's all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your comments or your thoughts. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees, at least the car people, But at the end of the day, no one cares. You know, no one knows what's underneath that hood except for the car people. But I'm not pretending to be something I'm not, and that's what's most important here. I'm not driving this, you know, going, yeah, I got a V8. You know, there's people who have these cars and they literally put like Hellcat like seat covers and Hellcat badges on them and stuff. Come on, who are you fooling? We know those people in the car communities that do stuff like that, and they're few and far. And those people aren't making, you know, YouTube videos on their cars. They're just some guy who thinks it's cool to slap something on the car and pretend it's something that it's not. But like I said, I mean, most people look at this and they have no idea what it is. They're all the same. And it's amazing. I can't think of any other car besides the Charger and the Challengers that can range so much, not only in their price, but their performance, and look the same. And I've heard people complain about that. People who have Hellcats saying like, you know, hey, why is that guy's $28,000 car look exactly like my $65,000 car? You know, clearly my $65,000 car has more performance, but no one knows it. So when I'm going down the street, I want it to be distinctive so they know that I spent extra money, or they know if they come up to a red light and start honking at me, that I'm going to beat them in the race. You know, I don't care about that stuff. It's just, like I said, this is a daily. This is not a show car. This is not a fun, I mean, it is fun, but it's not the weekend fun car. This is just a cool looking daily. It's it. It's a normal car with a cool shell, a cool body. I love the throwback. I love everything about this car. I really, really do. But like I said, I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not. I know what this is offering, and I'm happy with it. I'm totally fine with it. So, but yeah, it is. It's not a muscle car. That's for sure. So anyway, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know down in the comment section, what do you drive? Just curious. I know there's some pretty cool cars out there. A lot of people who watch my videos, they all know, like when I gave Chris Rudnick a shout out, a ton of people sent messages like, I didn't know you watch Rudnick. Yeah, there's a lot of car people. The car scene has just really grown so much over the years. It's just really neat. So I'm curious to hear all the cool rides you guys are swinging around in. But this is it, the one and only for me. My V6 Dodge Challenger, which I love, with all-wheel drive. So that's it. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.